You know, the moment I saw this trailer, I was instantly invested and it did not let down. And I have a ton of notes and comments, reactions, all sorts of things to put into this review. So let's not waste no time and jump into that right now. What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the limited miniseries The Girl Before, which is coming to HBOMAX in 4 parts, February 10th. Now, they're, again, 4 parts, an hour each. It's a miniseries, so you're going to be hooked. It's a quick, easy binge, and it was a good time. But like I said, I got a ton of notes to kind of go over with this, so, bear with me. Now, the first thing I want to say is there will be mild spoilers. One, because I feel like the synopsis probably gave away too much. So with that being available, then I know there's, the things I can talk about with this, because there is a lot that really goes into this series. And so, like, when I talk about something, you're going to say, whoa, that's not like a spoiler. Well, no, that's actually some of the information that's out there. And then the other tidbit to this is that this is also based on a novel, but this was also released overseas in December on BBC. So this has already been out to some people to see. This is a good, one of those European miniseries or series, television shows, whatever it may be, that, like, I feel like the UK really does good television. This is another series that, like, we're getting late and we're kind of like, really excited and fascinated about it while they already had it, and it just proves that time and time again that British people put out some really good television. So this is why, like, it's already been released here now that HBO Max has acquired it. This is our way of seeing it, so that's that. And then the cast is intriguing up and down the board, starting with Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who's from The Morning Show and then recently notable Loki. And then you have David Oyelowo, who's from Selma and some other things as well too, but notably from Selma, playing Dr. Martin Luther King. And then you have Jessica Palmer, who resume is, she's still fairly new, but this performance tells you otherwise, because she's really good. But she does have a new show coming up called Auditions, which I will definitely be keeping an eye out for. But as I said, this is a solid British show, good thriller, and really the investigative nature of it is very entertaining. So, but talking about our leads here, Jessica and Gugu. Now listen, you're not tripping if you think they favor each other, because they absolutely do. They absolutely do look alike, and there's nothing wrong with that because it is totally by design. So I know when I saw the graphics for it, I was like, wait, what? And I was like, whatever. Then I saw the trailer and I kind of seen how, like, scenes were kind of coming about, and I was like, okay. I was a little bit confused, but, like, upon watching it, you're not going to be confused, but you totally have to pay attention. And, like, there's distinct differences between the two of them. They do favor each other's skin complexion. Their hairs are very much the same. Their curl patterns are very much the same. So, you just have to just pay attention, because there's a reason why they were casted the way they were. But I will say that Jessica in the series, she wears 2 hoop earrings, so in one ear she has 2, one here and one here, and then you have Gugu, who only has these small studs. So, like, if there's anything that helps you differentiate between the two, that's a starting point, shall I say. But anyway, let's talk about the story. Now, Gugu's character, Jane, she stumbled upon a rental opportunity of a lifetime, where she gets to live in this really futuristic, beautiful, ultra minimalist house designed by an architect who's played by David. But it's under certain conditions. Like, this dude, man, I can't wait to really get into his character, but he has a lot of conditions and rules upon living there. But upon moving in, she discovers about a previous Emma, who's played by Jessica, who met a mysterious death there. So she starts to wonder about her own story going forward, And it's sort of like the rewind. This is where the title comes into play, The Girl Before. So with all the twists and everything that's kind of happening here, this is what really catches Jane off guard, because she feels like she's living in a lie of patterns, and now she's investigating her landlord, the architect, and then she's also trying to figure out the clues with Jane, and so many different things are happening while she's diving deep into this. And like, man, just with that, you mean to tell me that we're going to have a story for 4 episodes with this much detail in it? It certainly does, and the execution is very good. So, but I gotta say, within the first 3 minutes of it, it gets the momentum going instantly. Like, things start to happen right away. So this series wasted no time with its events and revealing some of the major plot points. So again, gotta pay attention to detail, and especially because you got some of the timelines flip-flopping, because you got the timeline where we're following Jane, then you got the timeline where we're following Emma. And that's not even all, but I'll just leave it at that. So you got to really pay attention to that. The common denominator here is the architect here, and Joel. This dude Edward, man, he is just totally out of line. I really, really, really dislike this character. David does a fantastic job in his acting with it, but I'll tell you, even with the dislike with this character, you go on a roller coaster, because I mean, this dude, he constantly is very overbearing. He's like almost like a narcissist at time. And just a bunch of different things that like just makes me uncomfortable with how he was treating his tenants, yet alone, them being women. He's this guy, and he's creating these very unfavorable living conditions for them. So, the fact that he crosses the line, I'm just going to keep saying that, things truly become like a conflict of interest. The dude is a psycho. That's just how I'm going to look at it. And I got to say, to a point, it almost feels like you're going down the path of Beauty and the Beast. Like, if you really think about the core plot of Beauty and the Beast, where Belle was not allowed to leave the castle because she was kind of held hostage. Sort of what this kind of doing here. And like, dude, he just preys on the vulnerable, because even with that being said, Jane had her struggles, Emma had her struggles, and like, it's clear that he has not only a tight terms, like, appearance wise, but it also seems like he has a type in personality, and that's where you'll start to see this all massage out. But like, Jane, abort mission, lady, because there's so many red flags with this dude, and there's so many reasons you need to get out of there, but you just can't help to sympathize with her because of what she's been through. And it's almost like survivor's remorse, and it's almost like the idea of how society portrayed victims in certain situations, especially with women, that the point that, like, from a viewer, you kind of look at this like, oh, she's stupid, but no, you really got to like put yourself in her shoes and understand like the things she's been through, why she's making the decisions she is, even if they're not deemed as healthy, so it's kind of really like, the part of the story that I really want to put emphasis on is that, like, she's a hopeless romantic, don't get me wrong, but like, she's been through a lot of trauma, and that's really, really, really can cause problems for her and rationality going forward. And then Edward, he has repetition compulsion. That's just that. Look it up. But yeah, between the two timelines, they're about 3 years apart. So David really isn't much out of his norm. Again, repetition compulsion. But like, the house itself, the set location is nice. This little interactive house jail, should I say. I definitely would have wanted to live in there too, considering like, oh yeah, I can afford this by certain rules, and the rules are outrageous. Like, if you've ever seen like Total Bellas and seen the rules that John Cena had with Nikki Bella in terms of their relationship, like, that's like nothing compared to what this dude Edward was trying to apply. So just, put that in there. But the other thing is too, like, scenes are creepy, so cinematography's done well. I thought the score was done well. There's a lot of reasons why I just thought this was super solid. The acting performances were really good. The script was good because you really bought into these characters. And again, they piled on so much for 4 episodes that this easily could have been fleshed out to 8 or 10. And, things could have been a little bit more slower. But the fact that things were bang after bang, event after event, like, it was done really, really well. And then, to talk about a little bit about the information with the house, David whole thing was about being able to collect data on his tenants in order to like offset the market rent. So like, you know, when you want to start to sit here and try to be logical about like how does this work, like I believe into the factor of, you know, one wanting to do such, because this interactive house definitely has like a lot of electronics and so on. Again, it's very futuristic. It sort of reminds me of the house like in Invisible Man, if you've seen that recently. So like I get that. So like I can say I easily buy into the believable factor into what this story is trying to tell, you know. But like I said, it is shot beautifully. There's some really energetic scenes as well too. It's really put together well. I'm sure there were some flaws in the plot. It wasn't perfect, but like I still thought it was pretty good. But the most important thing is you want to pay attention to detail. My last little knock on this is that I thought the twist and the reveal towards the end of this probably could have been done a little bit better. I was a little bit underwhelmed with it. Wasn't mad, but like, you know, and I totally think that the viewers are going to be in divide with this. There is a mid-credit scene, so definitely make sure you stay through to that. But yeah, other than that, it was really good. And I gotta say again, for Gugu and Jessica, who played Jane and Emma, they do a really fantastic job favoring one another, because that's part of the story here, is that, you know, Edward has a type, and you need to believe that these two actors, who are totally two different people, who have been to two drastically backgrounds in terms of trauma, that they still favor each other, not just by appearance, but by personality. And that's, you know, was a very key part to the believable factor to this. And again, David, who plays Edward, as much as I hate him, did a fantastic job. So there's that. But yeah, check this out. Again, coming to HBO Max February 10th, 4 parts, hour each. I can't wait to hear you all's comments. I have so many more notes I could talk about here, but I don't want to spoil anything. So I'm definitely can't wait for you all to check it out and to jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts about this. And I gotta say, you know, keep your eye out for British cinema and British television. They really put out some good shows, and whether we get them here on the US, you know, a month later or 2 months later, or whether we get them a year later, keep an eye out, man, because they really have solid television all the time. And this is just another example. So, but yeah, folks, check it out, jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about this, and I'll see you around for more reviews very soon.